Continuing on with your management steps, this is a community disease. If it occurs, it's really important to notify other farmers, gardeners in your area, as well as extension staff, so other people know where the disease is occurring and they can prepare. And now they can get out preventive sprays and try to save their crop. If you realize that your crop has reached a point where it's unmanageable, you're not going to be able to save it, don't just leave the crop there to continue producing spores that will move on to other people's plantings. Really important to treat this as a community disease and get rid of those plants, preferably on a sunny day, because the UV radiation will kill the spores that you're dispersing by bagging up those plants, pulling up those plants. You can bag them, small planting. You can pull up a bunch, cover them with a tarp. Then the plants underneath that tarp will heat up and get killed. You could dig a hole and bury them. A lot of growers last year, I know, used propane flames to kill them as a way to get rid of those diseased plants. This is the community garden on Long Island where we had an outbreak this spring, and the gardeners have learned that this is an important disease. They let me know right away they thought they had late blight. I diagnosed it, and you can see they've bagged up the plants. They're leaving that bag out in the sun where the plants and the spores are going to get killed. There's one last planting here that hadn't gotten pulled yet, and here's a close-up of the base of that plant. This is less than a week from when those gardeners first saw symptoms. Just another illustration of how severe late blight can be pretty darn early in development. As I said, less than a week from when they saw symptoms, and they were out there every day. So clearly with late blight, we need aggressive management to control it. It's not like other diseases. We can't just let it fester out there. We've got to manage it aggressively to minimize the impact for all of us. You can't just think about your own planting. We've all got to be in it together to try and control this. And if we're really aggressive about managing it, there's less chance that if two mating types are out there, they can come together on your plants and then form the oospores. It's really important to realize that if that happens, those spores can survive in the soil for a couple of years, and late blight becomes like early blight and septorial leaf spot, where they just survive in your farm and they're there every year. And that has happened in some parts of Europe. They now see late blight every year. I think that's a really important thing for us to realize, that could happen to us. So I think one of our big challenges, and part of why we're all chatting here tonight, is so that we're all educated and we understand. And I think we all need to be part of that education. So anybody you know who's not part of this webinar tonight, make sure they know about late blight, and hopefully we can return to it being a very sporadic disease, because we certainly don't need it anymore. And just dead plant to illustrate what late blight can do and how managing it is absolutely essential.